In today's video, I'm going to talk about why it's important to own a business. I'm also going to talk about the different kinds of business structures that are out there so you can make your decisions. And most importantly, I'm going to walk you through a process of how to actually set up your business for yourself. Okay, let's dive right deep into it. Of course, I'm sure you're aware that every successful business in today's world started with an idea. Okay, however, some people have so many ideas but don't know how to bring it to fruition, don't know how to bring it to manifestation, I'll say, simply because they probably don't have a business or a means, I'll call it a vehicle, to bring it to life. Now, for some people, the reason why this is the case is because they're either scared, oh, I don't know how to set up the business, or I don't know anything about setting up a business. If this is your own challenge, or if you're facing this same challenge, I'm right here to help you. So why is it important to own a business? There are several reasons. Number one is access to government benefits. So we all know that the government provides certain grants, tax benefits, tax credit for business owners. For some people for individuals, unfortunately, you may not be able to access some of these things, but with a business, you have the chance to access these credits. Another reason is the fact that you have the opportunity to be flexible with your decisions. You're able to bring your creativity to play. You're able to make certain decisions that you probably not be able to make if you are maybe an employee, for instance. The other thing is the independence to make your choices, to steer your business in a certain direction you want. And most importantly for many people is the access to the benefits, right? So the financial benefits such as direct access to profit rather than just having salary. That's one big motivation for people to embark on business ideas or business initiatives. So as I said earlier, I'll be talking about the three business structures that we have out there. We have the sole proprietorship, we have the partnership, and we have the incorporation, or I'll say the corporations, right? Now for these three businesses, I'm just going to explain what they entail briefly so you can understand. Now for sole proprietorship, as the name implies, it means when a business has just one owner and the owner has the right to steer the business in any direction, has full control, has ownership of the business, is able to make all the decisions regarding the business, okay? So what are the features of a sole proprietorship? Number one is the legal structure. As I said earlier, it's one owner of the business. The guy, whoever is in charge of the business, gets to make all the decisions regarding the business. Secondly, the business is not separated from the individual, so it's as good as the same person being the business in this case. Now, one key thing you need to also understand about sole proprietorship is, as a sole proprietor, you can actually use your personal name for the business. I'll give you an example of my own self. So I embarked on an Uber delivery business at some point, and I was able to use my name, my personal name, for the purpose of registering the business. So something you also need to understand is when you use your personal name, you actually don't have to register your business simply because it's a sole proprietorship and you're using your name. Now, this is typically one of the easiest ways to embark on a business journey. However, it has its own downsides, right? It's easy, it doesn't cost anything, you can start up without any cost. However, if you want to give your business a trade name, for instance, when I started an Amazon business, I had to give it a trade name even though it was a sole proprietorship. At that point, you have to register your business. So down the line, I'm going to show you how to register your sole proprietorship business with your province. Another factor that sets a requirement for you to register your business would be if you cross a $30,000 limit in terms of your revenue. So if you are earning revenue and it's below 30,000, you don't necessarily have to register, but you need to track it carefully. So once it gets to the 30,000 mark, then you actually have to register a business with the province. That's super important. Now, what are the downsides of sole proprietorship? Number one is that your income from the business would be joined with your personal income. So what that implies is that if you're filing your personal income taxes, you have to include your income from the sole proprietorship, which is in the T1 slip. So all these things adds up to your income. What that implies is that if you are earning at close to the borderline to move it to the next progressive tax level, this could actually push you beyond that level and increase your tax liability or tax payable. Another downside to sole proprietorship is the fact that if for any reason you're sued by anyone, whoever the case may be, maybe as a result of your business activities, the implication is that whoever is suing you would have access to your personal properties beyond just what the business has. So there is no limitation to what or where they can access in terms of your personal property. The second business structure I'll be talking about is what we call the partnership. For partnerships, as the name implies, is just when two or more people come together, pool resources together, and start up a business. By default, when you try to register a partnership, it comes as a general partnership, which implies that all parties or all partners are going to share the profits and the losses equally. So that's something you also need to know as a partnership. You still get to register the business as a sole proprietorship if you get to a 30,000 mark, and it's definitely not compulsory until you get to that point where the need for registration is triggered. Otherwise, if you're using a trade name, which is even required, you would have to register the business for sure. The last business structure I'd like to talk about is the incorporation. So for the incorporation, what it entails is you setting up your business either with the province or at the federal level. Now, the key difference between an incorporation and the sole proprietorship I mentioned earlier and the partnership I mentioned earlier is the fact that the business is a separate legal entity that stands on its own, different from who the owners are. Now, there's a difference between the entity and you as a person. What that implies is that treat the business as a separate organization, different from you. You have to maintain records accurately. You need to file your records annually. You just have to treat the business separately. Another key feature of the incorporation is the fact that the ownership is not controlled by one person to a large extent, right? It's controlled by directors who will be registered at the point of incorporating the business, okay? The other thing is that due to the separation of the entity from the individuals, if for any reason there's any legal liability, it does not affect you as an individual. Your properties, your personal properties are safeguarded from that of the incorporation. So that's the amazing thing about being incorporated. So I'll give an example of my own situation, which I think might also be very helpful to you. So when I wanted to set up a business, I felt the cost of incorporation was way higher, which was $200 versus a sole proprietorship, which was about $60. I felt, hey, I might as well just go for the cheaper option and then set up and just move on. Quite all right, that was helpful. I got into the business. But you know what? In just a few months, I realized that I think I had made a decision that wasn't the best, simply because of the nature of what I was doing. I was selling products, and when it comes to products, there's a higher liability for being sued or being subjected to litigations. So in that case, I knew the only option or the best option at that point was to switch into an incorporation. So if you are like me, you're dealing in products that would expose you to increased risk of being sued, it would be better for you to have an incorporation straight up. Now, the problem was I had to switch my business from the sole proprietorship to the incorporation. That cost me even much more money than I thought it would. So that's something you also need to take into consideration. So in order for me to do this transition from the sole proprietorship to the incorporation, of course, I wanted to retain the same name I used for my sole prop. I was told to relinquish the name for my sole proprietorship. So I had to prepare a board resolution for the sole proprietorship, transferring the name from the sole proprietorship to the incorporation before the name was approved for my incorporation. So that's something you need to know if you're considering, transferring your name from a sole proprietorship to incorporation. Now to the very important part of this video, which is how to set up your business. There are a couple of steps which you need to take note of and things you need to do. First step I'll say is to determine what your business name is going to be. The rule of thumb is whatever business name you're going for, ensure it clearly reflects the nature of business you're doing or nature of activities or services you're providing to your customers, because that's in itself, that's a means of marketing your business. So it will be weird to have a very strange name that doesn't even relate at all to whatever business you do. So that's something you need to keep in mind. Before you choose the name you want to use, you want to determine what corporate structure works for your business. Do you want to go for the sole proprietorship? Do you want to go for the partnership or the incorporation? The other thing you also need to put in mind is the name of the business. Are you going to have a distinction between your legal name of the business and the trade name? So you see instances where organizations have a trade name that differs from their legal name. In that case, you need to also register your trade name. That's very important. Overall, whatever name you adopt or you choose to use must align with Incorporation Canada's requirement. I'll share the link below so you can review Corporation Canada's requirements for setting up your name. Another thing that really helped me is what I call the name generators. So if you want to generate a new name and you probably don't have an idea what to think about or what name, there are name generators out there that can help you get a range of names or different kinds of names that you could try and see if it works for you. One website I've really used is what I call the Brand Crowd. So Brand Crowd was really helpful in terms of how it was able to generate certain names for me, and I was able to determine if I was going to use it or not. The next thing you need to also do once you have determined the name you want to adopt is to search if that name is still available for use. That's to say, you are trying to check if someone has taken the name prior to now or it's been assigned to someone else. Now, the most important approach to adopt is going for a search. So there are two ways to do this. It's either you go through the NUANS search, which I mostly recommend, or you go through the business registry search. Now for the NUANS search, I'm going to show you how that works. So the NUANS search costs just $13.80, and it's pretty cheap. You can actually do it, and I'm going to show you how that is done. So you can order your report and check if the name you've picked has been taken or not. So this is what the NUANS search site looks like. As you can see, this is under the government of Canada, nuans.com, and here you can actually scroll down all the way and go to order a federal report. As you can see, the price for this is $13.80. All you need to do is just click on order a federal report. Okay, so the first thing you want to do is type in the name. Let's assume I type Finance Wiz. Okay, and then you click on next. As you can see, it's shown the business right here. Okay, so what is really done is just it showed me the ideas or different types of business that look similar to what I selected. So if the name that you selected was not on this list, then you might as well go ahead to create the name. Okay, so once you click on next, then you can move on to the next page. So on this next page, you get to enter the activities that you do. You see this section says, what is your business activity? You have to describe your business activity. If you type, for instance, blog, you can click on that right here, and then it shows this, and you click on next. Okay, so the reason why it wasn't going to submit was because I had not selected the name. So if I click on this, for instance, and I click next, so it says that be sure to have your credit card ready before processing the next button. Otherwise, if you do that, so all it's trying to say is just get your credit card ready. Okay, so it says the cost of the report is $13.80. This is the proposed name. All you need to do is enter your email address here and here, enter your email address here and here, and then click on next, and you're good to go. Okay, and then you can make your payment right at the top here, and then it sends you your NUANS report. Usually this comes in a few minutes. It doesn't take a while for you to come in, and then you can do and check if there's a name that's similar to whatever you have. Okay, so now to the next thing, I call it the step 3. Once you've done your name search and you found out that the name is very much available, has not been taken by anyone, and is good to go, all you need to do is set up your business right now. So for sole proprietorship, I'm just going to show you how to do that, how to set up the business, and I'm also going to share all the links to setting up your business for the sole proprietorship, for the incorporation, and so on. Very easy. Okay, now if you want to set up your sole proprietorship, it has to go through the province. I currently live in Ontario, so I'm just going to be showing you what Ontario looks like. So this is Ontario's page. So if you scroll down on their business registry page all the way to register your business online, once you click on that, it takes you to this point. As you can see, it shows you section 4, which is register your business online, and all the activities that happens here. Just so you know, registering your business is on Service Ontario. So as you can see, this is for sole proprietorship. So if you want to register your sole proprietorship, you just need to click on this. This is for general partnership, like I mentioned earlier, in terms of the structure of the business. And we have the limited liability partnership, we have the extra provincial limited liability partnership, and so on. And we also have the business incorporation, which is $300. So if I choose to go for the sole proprietorship, all I need to do is click on this and I would register in the information here. Now, the one key is you'd probably have to register for this if you've not registered. So if you want to register, you just need to click on sign up now and enter your details. It's going to just create an account for you, and that will be all you need. So because I created my one key ID, so I don't have to create a new one, I'm just going to log in straight up into my account. So it says the terms and conditions. So the idea is you just need to accept, and then you need to just enter your full name in here, your telephone number, your email address, and as you can see at the background, you just need to enter like your business name at the background, the proposed business, the primary activity, and your email address and everything about the business. Okay, so once you follow all the necessary steps, it's pretty easy and straightforward, and in no time you should have your sole proprietorship business up and running. Now, once you register your sole proprietorship, you're going to get a master business license that will contain the business identification number, which is usually generated by Ontario, Service Ontario. So the idea behind the BIN is that's business identification number. It differentiates your business from every other business out there. Okay, so you need to know that there is a difference between business identification number and business number. So the business number is a 9-digit number that is assigned by the CRA for tax related activities and everything that relates to the CRA for your business. So that's different from the business identification number. So I was able to explain to you how to set up the sole proprietorship, the links on how to go through there. You have to create your one key account. Once you log in, enter your details, the nature of business you're doing and all the activities. Once you're done, your business is good to go. Easy peasy. In less than 10 minutes, you're done with setting up your sole proprietorship business. $60 is the cost, and once you make that payment, you're good to go. So after you've gotten your NUANS report and you've realized that the name that you actually want to use is not on the NUANS report, which means it's very much available or there's no very closely similar name, the next thing you want to do is incorporate with Corporations Canada. And I'm going to show you exactly how to do this. It's very easy and it should not take you more than 15 minutes. So this is the ISED, which is standing for Innovation, Science and Economic Development Canada. All right. Now here you get to select your, of course, set up the business that you've already selected a name for and officially incorporate it. Now you have two options, okay? So if you see me scrolling down, you have the option of getting your corporate name pre-approved first before incorporation, or you could go all the way straight to incorporation. All right. Now, if you click here now, this takes you straight to incorporation. Get a numbered name. So if you want to get a numbered name that just gives you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, or of course these figures are going to be random, and it tries to give you a random number or a number that is assigned, unique number assigned to you with the Canada Inc. You could actually do this one. That's an option, or you could get a word name. All right. And the other option is getting a corporate name pre-approved. So for me, I prefer to go the corporate name pre-approval first before actually incorporating, because of course you don't want a situation where you make the payment for approval and end up realizing that it was already taken, and that's your money lost and that's $200. So you don't want to lose your money. Okay, so I would recommend that you go for getting the pre-approval first before fully going into incorporation. However, I'm going to show you the two sides of the coin to know how both work. So if we go the route of getting the pre-approval first, so all you need to do is click on pre-approval of a corporate name. Now this is what it looks like. So what you're trying to do is sending your name to Corporations Canada get them to review against what they have, and pre-approve it. So once it's pre-approved, there's a high likelihood that your incorporation is going to go through smoothly. Okay. Now, if you click on, say, business incorporation and click on next, it takes you to this section. Now, before you get to this point, you should already have a NUANS report, and I already took you through how to get a NUANS name search report. As you can see, the caution, it says you must have a NUANS name search report to continue. Corporations Canada uses NUANS report and other information that you provide here to determine whether the proposed name meets the requirement of CBCA. Okay, so you scroll all the way and you enter the details of the incorporation. So use of the proposed name, you just need to type an incorporation and click on next. Here you get to enter the incorporation name. Say I enter something like the Finance Wiz. Okay. If you want to enter it in any other language, you can also enter it here. But I'd rather just enter the information here. That's pretty straightforward. Okay. Then here, from your NUANS name search report, you will see a reservation number in the document. You just need to extract that information and put it in here. So the idea is they already have access to the NUANS name search report. All they're trying to do is check from their back end to see that the name that you're selecting is not on that list, or a closely similar name that creates some sort of confusion is not on that list. Okay. So once this is entered here, you scroll all the way down. Most times I really don't put so much information here, but you choose to put, as you can see, it's not compulsory, but most times it's always recommended. Just at least add some information to help whoever is reviewing your application to make the decision as quickly as possible. Okay. Once you enter all the information, you go all the way down and you click on next. So the reason why it actually did not allow it go through is because I did not put an ink. So it says it must have a legal name, a valid legal element. As you can see, the proposed corporate name must contain a valid legal element, and a NUANS report reservation number must be entered. Because I actually did not do a NUANS report, so it wouldn't go through. But if you have a NUANS report number, you just need to enter the information here and then next and then submit. As you can see that it's just one level after this. So once you fill this section up, you can click on review and then submit. Okay. If you want to save and exit and come back to continue, just click here and you can save and exit and come back to where we were before, prior to now. So if you have done the pre-approval, you can then come back to this section and incorporate the business officially after you've gotten some sort of confirmation from Corporations Canada to say, oh, this name is good to go. You can as well set up the business. So at this point, you can click on incorporate your business straight up. So like I said, you had the option of either incorporating straight without going through the pre-approval process, or you go through the pre-approval process, which I've just shown you, and then come into the incorporation of the business itself. So for me, I prefer to go through the pre-approval first, which I did in a business I set up a few weeks ago. I did the pre-approval first. After I was done with the pre-approval and I got a confirmation from Corporations Canada, I then came into this section to incorporate the business officially. Like I said, it's up to you if you want to go straight up without the pre-approval or you want to go through the pre-approval route. If I click on incorporate your business and then I scroll all the way down, you can see the cost. It's going to tell you the cost. So for you to incorporate your business, it costs $200. Which I know is sometimes discouraging for many people, but I assure you it's always worth it at the end of the day. So once you click on incorporate, it gives you different options. So you have the option of either a basic incorporation. Like I said, there are two options. It's either it's giving you a unique number assigned to your business name, or you get to customize your business name. Okay, for me, I prefer to customize my business name to bear a name that I prefer, of course, which I've done through the NUANS search report, through the pre-approval, whatever case may be. Then for instance, look at this example here. It says Chico Hairdressing Incorporation. As you can see, that's a name versus what is on this side, which is 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 Canada Incorporation. So which means that you have the option of either going for full numbers or you go for the names. I prefer the names actually, but it's up to you what you want to do. So once you select custom incorporation, you click on next at the bottom. At this point, it shows your contact information, and once you enter your contact information, so like I said before, you have two options. The first option is either go straight to incorporation and not have to search or do a lot of pre-approval upfront, or you go through the pre-approval phase and then come into incorporate. So if you have done the pre-approval and you have gotten a confirmation from Corporations Canada that you're good to go, you can as well incorporate your business. This is what you're going to click, this section, right? So after I've gotten a confirmation via email to say the name is good to go, I can as well set up the name. All I just had to do was click on this button. It says use your name already approved by Corporations Canada, and I'm going to take you all through this process so you can see what it looks like. Okay, so if I click on next, then I get to enter the request ID. Now on that confirmation email that you've gotten from Corporations Canada, there will be a request ID there, and there will also be a confirmation number. All you need to do is enter that information in here and you are good to go. All right, then the province or territory where your business is going to be located. In this case, I'm just going to write Ontario because I stay in Ontario. 1 class of shares, 2 class of shares. So it's all up to you what you want to do. The number of shares, class of shares you want. Personally, I don't need more than 1 class of shares, so I just went for 1 class of shares. Restriction on share transfer, I'm actually fine with allowing shares transfers, so I just clicked on none for me. And if you need some guidance, always click on tip. It will tell you what to do or what each item entails. So for instance, it says you may wish to restrict the transfer of shares or securities to prevent the corporation from becoming a reporting issuer. I actually did not need this, so I didn't click on it. All right, so I go into the number of directors. Here I get to click the minimum directors, I get to click the maximum. I'm actually fine with the default, which is 1 as the minimum and 10 as the maximum. Then on restrictions of business, now this is where you get to determine the scope of work or scope of business you can do. I actually like to leave mine very much open, so I click on none. I don't want to have any sort of restrictions. However, if you want to have restrictions, you can just click on I would like to insert my own text and then enter the extent of information that you want as your restriction. But for me, I clicked on none because I want to have a variety and flexibility as I do my work. All right. Now, other provisions, if you have any other provisions that you think might be helpful to your business, if you want to restrict securities transfer and so on, borrowing powers of the directors and so on, anything you want to, any provision you want to establish, you just need to click on this and highlight whatever, select whatever option you want to select. But in my own case, I actually did not need any of this, so I clicked on none. Then here, the incorporators are the people, which could also be another corporation. So the idea is those who are responsible for incorporating this business are going to enter their details here. As you can see, you have the option of entering an individual or entering a body corporate. So if I click on body corporate, it gives me the option of entering the name of the corporation that's setting up this new corporation, right? So it's most likely an existing corporation that's setting up this new corporation. So I can enter the name of the company, I can enter the signature, whoever is representing that company or the name of the company. But in this case, I'm not going to use that, so I'm going to click on cancel. If you want to enter your name as the person incorporating business, you just need to click on individual, enter your first name, enter your last name, and you're good to go. Easy peasy. Okay, so once you're done with that, you just need to click on next. I doubt it's going to allow me to go to the next page because I've not entered the request ID. Okay, but it's just pretty straightforward. As you can see the sections here to the right here, it says review, print and sign. So once you click on that, because it's already pre-approved, it's just simply putting your registered address of the office and directors. So your registered office address, you're going to enter that. Your registered your director's address, or the names of the directors I meant to say, you're also going to enter that. The review, print and sign, and you're good to go. Okay, and then it gives you a notice to tell you when you're supposed to file your annual reports on a yearly basis. So I took a few steps back to where we came from. As if you can remember, we clicked on this previously. Like I said, Then if you had a pre-approval, you just need to go into this section and click on use your name already approved by Corporations Canada. But if you did not have any name before and you were doing it from the onset, like I said, you skipped that whole process of pre-approval and went straight to incorporation, this is where you're going to click word name, and then you click on the next. So this is where it takes you to you get to choose your name, if it's a one name or two separated names. So it depends on you. Like you can see what the one name looks like here, or you can just select a two word names. So if you just go for the one word, you can go for any of them. It's up to you what you want to use as your name, and you click on next. It then takes you to the section where you get to propose the name you're going to use. Okay, so if I was to put the name I want to use, let's assume this. Ensure that you have the INC at the back, or however you want the name to appear. If you want it to appear as limited, as you can see, limited is an option here, or you want it to appear as Corp, C-O-R-P, just put the name, the word name, and then the title that's going to go after, the legal element that's going to go after, which is like the Corp or the limited or the Inc. In my own case, I'm using INC, Inc. Okay, and then you click on search. So what it does next is to suggest something to you, which is the name that you can select. In this case, I'm going to select the Finance Wiz. So once I click that, I'm good to go, and then I have to enter if it's a made-up name or a name of a person or an acronym. In this case, I'm going to select the made-up word. Then enter justification why you're selecting this name or why you created the name. Please provide additional details on your proposed name, just to give more insights regarding the name you chose. Okay, then you have to enter the business activities. For instance, if I were to enter blog, then this shows the business activity for me. And then I scroll all the way down. Who are your customers? So here is just trying to find out who your customers are. Are you going to sell it to general public or to a targeted segment? So in this case, I'm just going to select general public, and I can write adults from 18 to 59 years. Again, it all depends on you. You're just providing additional information. This only helps to strengthen your application. In itself, it's not going to, like as you can see here, it's optional. In itself, it's not going to eliminate your options of getting this approved. However, it just strengthens your application, and helps whoever is reviewing the application to understand what your business is all about. Okay, so at this section is where where are your customers located? Are they internationally across the world? Is it across Canada? For me, I could select both of them if I want to, and then I can click on search. Okay, now what this is trying to do is giving me options of names that are similar to mine. All right, now because we didn't go through the pre-approval process, it's still taking me through the name search process, which is a longer process as expected. So once I click on next, it tells me that you should have your credit card ready to make payment. Now this 1380 is for the name search, so you need to also understand that. So if you had done a NUANS search before, this is not going to be an effective process. Please do not do this, because if you go through this process, you'll be doing the NUANS payment twice, and you don't want that to happen. Okay, but if you've done your NUANS search prior to now, just go through the pre-approval process that I mentioned earlier. Do not go through this process, because you will be forced to pay this more than once. However, if you've not done your NUANS search, then go through this phase. Okay, here you get to click on proceed to payment. As you can see, this is distinctive name and so on and so forth. Now the challenge is you actually cannot go past this level without making this payment and this search. Okay, so I guess this is where I will not be able to go past. However, every other thing remains the same. As you can see from here, we have the articles of incorporation, we have the review, print and sign, we have the registered office and directors, review, print and sign, reminder notice. Same thing we had through the pre-approval phase I showed you earlier. The same information that you have to enter, but the only difference between this and that is here you actually have to do officially your name search, which is the NUANS report. So if you want to skip all of that, then please just go through the pre-approval phase. It's just way easier. So if you followed all the whole process of setting up the business, congratulations, you have your business, your incorporation or your sole proprietorship or partnership up and running. Congratulations, this is amazing. All right, so the next thing you have to do is to secure your brand. Now, this is very, very important. If you already have a name, say Michael & Co. Limited or Michael & Co. Inc., you want to ensure that you secure that name so it's not taken by someone else on social media. The first thing you want to do is secure a domain. So there are many websites, there are many platforms that actually provide this service. We have like the GoDaddy, we have Bluehost, and so many others. You want to secure the domain so that whenever you're ready to create your website, you don't even have to be ready to create your website right now, but whenever you're ready to create your website, you can use your domain. The other thing is to go on social media, like we have the Twitter, we have the Facebook, we have Instagram. Go create your account. Even if you're not going to use it at the moment, just create the account and secure the brand for now. That's something you need to do and it's super important. The next step I would say you should do after securing your brand is to create your bank account or go open your bank account. So all you need to do is look for a financial institution that works best for you. Reach out to them and tell them that you want to set up your business. By now, you already should have your master business license if you are set up a sole proprietorship, or you should have your incorporation documents if you are set up an incorporation. In this case, will be articles of association, director's location, and so many other information that would help you through the process. Okay, so once you have all those documents, go to the bank and tell them you want to open an account for your business. I'd always recommend that you have a separate account for your business from your personal account. And the reason why is if you for any reason are selected for an audit by CRA, you wouldn't want a situation where they are going through your personal account details just because they want to review information about the company. And again, you don't want to mix up figures such that it becomes hard to report on the activities of your account, of your business account. So it's always good to separate both accounts, the business account from your personal account. Now, the last point I also want to talk about is registering for your taxes. Now, taxation is very important. Please do not joke with it. I would recommend that you register for get your business number as quickly as possible. That's super important. Just call CRA, very easy, and they're going to give you a business number. Now, on the other hand, if you have a product that is HST taxable, that's harmonized sales tax, or generally under the sales tax category, please reach out to them and tell them you want to voluntarily register for a HST, and they're going to give you a number that is going to help you with charging for HST, that's the sales tax, and then you're also able to report on the sales tax. Please, if you've not registered for this, do not charge your customers for the sales tax. All right, thanks guys. I hope you enjoyed this session, and if for any reason you have any questions, you have any comments, please feel free to drop in the comment section below. If there's any area you don't understand or you want me to explain or provide so much clarification, or even give you a walkthrough of the process, show you my screen and show you how it's done, feel free to drop the comments or anything you want me to talk about. I would really love to do a video on those areas for you, just to help you and your business overall. Thanks again. Please like, share, and comment wherever you need to, and see you at the next episode. Bye guys. Bye.